Who am I and what am I doing here? My name is Father Frank, and for the past 10 years that I have known her, Preethi has always referred to me as her father. Of course, she has her own beloved father here. But when she came to this country with no friends, we adopted each other, myself and two other good souls, Mrs. Marie Raybould, Auntie, and Mrs. Flora Brett. I have been proud all these years to have had 6 daughters. Very proud. I have been so proud to have their love and affection and the respect and affection of all their families. And it was because of the 3 of us that Preethi first came to Leicester. I brought her here myself in an ambulance, and all the others one Friday afternoon, having stolen them from the old people's home where they were working and being taken advantage of. And I know that many of you in this church have come to Leicester to live because of my girls. So, if you don't mind me saying so, you are looking at the reason that you are here. And for that reason, I have the right to say to you what I am about to say, and I also have the right to ask you to listen very carefully and be sure that you understand exactly what I am saying to you. This is a huge tragedy. A tragedy that should never have taken place. It is a tragedy most especially for Preethi's 2 children. That a young woman full of love and goodness and loyalty and piety should have her life ended in such a manner is terrible. And we don't deny that. Many of us here knew the struggle that Preethi was having. And many of us feel angry, but we also feel ashamed that possibly we could have done more to help her, but didn't. And it is very easy on occasions like this to point our anger away from ourselves to other people. The fact is, dear friends, that we are angry with ourselves. We are angry that we did not do more for her. I am not conversant with the traditions of the Malayalam people, and I always believe that courtesy and discretion should be observed at all times. Nevertheless, to my grave, I must carry the burden of thinking maybe I could have done something to prevent these tragic events happening. And many of you feel the same. So while we are angry, let us realise that our anger is most probably with ourselves. And if we allow anger and bitterness to overtake us, then it destroys. It destroys all that is good in us and all that is noble. and it destroys the memory of a beautiful person. If we are angry, we cannot give thanks. And today we have come to give thanks for a beautiful life. A life that has ended so dramatically. I ask you not to concentrate on the manner of how Preely's life ended, rather than on the manner in which that life was lived. She was an extremely holy woman, and I mean that in the very best sense. She was a holy woman. She was a woman who was close to Jesus. Every single time I spoke to her, her last words would always be, "Pray for me, Father, pray for me." She believed that Jesus would look after her. She worked long hours to help her family. She was the most devoted mother and the most loyal wife you could imagine. She was discreet and kind and courteous, and a brilliant nurse because of it. It is so good to see you, her colleagues, who have come out of love and respect for her today, to testify to her professional skill and her personal kindness. We must not dwell on how her life ended, but think of how it was lived.